Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Dani Dishes. How is it April tomorrow? I feel this happens every winter, at least for the past 3 winters. Let's not all of a sudden assume that every winter, but the past 3 winters, because I've been training for Boston with Teddy's team, is that all of a sudden it becomes April and you're like, where did December to April go? And then you're like, oh yeah, I was running a lot of miles in the snow. And now Boston is 20 days away, which is crazy that marathon number 7, after I said I wouldn't do one and then I wouldn't do any after that first one, and now somehow we're on number 7. Crazy how that happens. So I thought that I would check in because now it is officially 1/3 of the way through 2015. Again, crazy. I don't know how that happened. So for those that missed 2014 in the world of Weight Off My Shoulders and Dani Dishes, is that it did not go to plan whatsoever in terms of the weight maintenance and healthy living, balanced lifestyle. I was still running. I actually did like 3 marathons between January and April, including 2 in a week. And then I was training for the half Ironman. So it's like the fitness part was kind of there. But at the beginning, when I switched jobs and just was like really unhappy, the actual like tracking and healthy eating kind of went out the window. I ended up gaining 23 pounds back, which I had never done since hitting goal in January 2012. So there's a lot of like emotional and physical stuff that went on. And the physical stuff not only impacted the mental side, but it also impacted how I felt running, my breathing. It was just not a good situation. So originally, I had set out in 2014 to be more consistent. I just felt like in 2013, I maintained my weight loss, but I felt like it was like 2 weeks kind of off plan, 2 weeks on, and it wasn't the balanced consistency that I really wanted. So I was going to focus on that in 2014, and that didn't work. So then I thought, all right, let's redo it and try again in 2015. And I really feel like things are going well, knock on like wood wherever I can find some, because I do feel like it's more consistent, because not only have I gotten back to weekly, or at least trying to weigh in weekly, which necessarily not something I want to do like for the rest of my life, but for right now I kind of need those check-ins. So getting back to weighing and being more accountable with my tracking, which I've realized is that I am not the type of person, at least at this point, again, that can maintain my weight loss without tracking. I need that accountability because the old tendencies, at least for me, are still very easy to creep in, especially since I'm such an emotional eater. It's very easy for that to come back and for me to go way off track. Getting back to weighing and measuring, and also just being more in tune, aware of, and willing to share my emotions and thoughts. I think that was something that I got away from in 2014. I just kind of hid, and I've mentioned this before, either on one of the Face It Friday posts recently, was that I can tell that when I'm getting off track is that I start shying away from sharing how things are going. I just kind of don't talk about it with people, and I can recognize those things now. And I feel like this year what I've been doing is reaching out to either through Dani Dishes or writing something on the blog or just putting something on the blog's Facebook page. So I think it really comes down to using the blog how I intended it to be. I love to share everything that I can with folks, and it is a resource and a way for me to help reach out to others, but it's also a place for me to kind of get these things off of my chest that held me down and I pushed down with food for so long. So I feel like so far in 2015, I've done a good job of like sticking to consistently making sure that when I do feel things, writing it out or talking it out, being able to reach out to friends if I need them instead of shying away and not wanting to feel like a burden. Because I think that's one of the hard things, is that I am always there when people have a problem. Like, a lot of people reach out, which I'm very happy to do, especially if they are also a Weight Watchers member, so kind of like talking through. But sometimes either one, they like don't ask back and I don't want to be like, so here's my problems, or 2, I don't want to take up people's time because I know everyone else has their own problems. But then I know that it backfires on me if I hide everything inside. So it kind of becomes this like catch-22 of I don't want to burden people. I don't want to, other people maybe just aren't in a place where they want to ask how I'm doing, which is fine. But it's something that I recognize is that now I kind of have a couple go-to people to make sure that no matter what, that they're there for me. And so that is nice, being able to have those consistent people that check in, being more aware. I really think the running streak has done wonders for me. Do I know how long it's going to last? No. But it's been a nice consistent. And it's really helped push me sometimes out the door when I really am dragging my feet, forgetting why I'm doing it, or really just wanting an excuse. So it's something where I'm not putting any pressure on myself, as I've said before, but for me personally, I'm finding that it's really helping all areas of my life for sure. So I think that that's really where I'm at in the first 3 months. I'm sick of snow too. I think I kind of forgot to tick that one off of what has happened in the first 3 months, but I think it's been great. I've made it through and enjoyed 2 Disney trips, done quite a few races, not as many as last year at this time, but it's been good. I think training is going as best as it can. It's always a hard question when people ask you that, because you're just like, I don't know. I just hope it's enough. You just kind of put that faith in it. So sometimes I'm like, well, I've done it. I made it through 20. So now I just kind of hope things go well after that. So you kind of get in that spot where you're like, I'm not really sure. I guess it's going well. I hope it's going well. I mean, time will tell on April 20th. But that's been something as well. So things are pretty much going okay. There's obviously been some bumps in the roads, but I think that tracking and trying to be more consistent has helped me get through those better than if it was the same situation last year, which I'm really excited about. I think that's some really good progress. So I'm excited to see how the rest of the year goes. I have some more things to kind of work through mentally, and I think that's something we'll talk, or I'll talk about in the Face It Friday post on Friday when I weigh in, a little bit more about kind of weight loss and where I am and whatnot. But for me, that is our first 1/3 of the year, 1/4 of the year. Oh goodness, I am not had enough coffee to do math yet. So the first 1/4 of the year update, and I will see you all next week. Have a good one.